The moment your eyes landed on these words wasn't random. Out of the infinite cascade of content flooding your awareness every second, something guided you here. Your consciousness didn't stumble upon this message by accident. It was drawn here by forces operating far beyond what your rational mind can comprehend. You've just activated something that's been dormant in your reality field, waiting for this precise moment to awaken. Right now, as you process these words, your neural pathways are firing in patterns they've never formed before. Your electromagnetic field is shifting, recalibrating to frequencies that most people never access in their entire lifetime. Scientists studying consciousness have discovered that the mere act of reading certain information creates immediate changes in your brain structure. You're not just consuming content, you're literally rewiring your perception of what's possible. Here's what's happening that you might not consciously recognize yet. Your heart rate has subtly changed. Your breathing has deepened without your awareness. Somewhere in the quantum field surrounding your physical form, probability waves are beginning physical theory. This is measurable science to collapse into new configurations. This isn't metaph occurring in real time as your consciousness encounters these concepts. You've passed an invisible test that 97% of people fail without even knowing it existed. The fact that you're still here, still reading, still feeling that subtle recognition of truth in these words, means your consciousness has already chosen transformation over comfort. Your higher intelligence has guided you to this exact transmission because some part of you knew you were ready for what's about to unfold. Quantum physicists have proven something that will fundamentally alter how you understand your existence. Reality isn't fixed, it isn't predetermined. It isn't sitting there waiting for you to discover its secrets. Instead, it exists in a state of pure potential until the precise moment your consciousness chooses to observe it. The world around you is literally suspended in possibility, waiting for your awareness to collapse those possibilities into specific experiences. This discovery shattered everything we thought we knew about how existence operates. When subatomic particles move through space unobserved, they behave like waves of pure potential, existing simultaneously in countless possible states. But the instant a conscious observer focuses attention on these particles, something extraordinary occurs. The wave of possibility immediately collapses into a definite particle with specific properties and location. The implications are staggering. You're not a passive witness to some predetermined cosmic drama. You weren't placed here to endure circumstances created by forces beyond your control. You are the conscious director of reality itself. Every moment of focused attention you invest is literally reshaping the quantum field around you, selecting which possibility becomes your lived experience. But here's what 99% of humanity doesn't understand about this process. The collapse from potential into reality doesn't happen through wishful thinking or positive affirmations. It follows specific quantum principles that govern how consciousness interacts with the field of infinite possibility. When quantum researchers study this phenomenon, they observe that conscious observation doesn't just reveal what was already there, it actually determines what becomes real. Think about this carefully. Right now, countless versions of your future exist simultaneously in the quantum field. There's a timeline where you're living your most extraordinary life, another where you remain trapped in current limitations, and infinite variations between them. These aren't fantasies or daydreams. Quantum mechanics confirms they exist as genuine possibilities in the field of potential. The question isn't whether these possibilities are real. The question is which one you'll collapse into your experienced reality through your sustained observation. This is where most people unknowingly sabotage their own transformation. They think they're observing reality objectively, but what they're actually doing is selecting which version of reality becomes their experience. When you wake up each morning and immediately focus on your problems, review your limitations, and reinforce your current story, you're not just witnessing what exists, you're actively choosing what continues to exist. You're casting votes for that specific timeline to remain your reality. Day after day, engaging in identical thought patterns, triggering the same emotional responses, perpetuating familiar behavioral cycles. The majority of humanity operates under the illusion that circumstances are fixed and unchangeable. They continuously focus their attention on their current situation, and through this repetitive observation, they unconsciously recreate the same reality endlessly, not because they desire it, but because they haven't learned how to redirect their observational lens. But what if you possessed this knowledge? What would happen if you stopped observing your existence through the filter of limitation and began observing with intentional focus, unwavering trust, and genuine excitement for what's possible? What if instead of fixating on what's missing, you trained yourself to perceive unlimited potential? What if instead of dwelling on past disappointments, you started attuning to the future that's calling you forward? This is the core invitation of quantum manifestation theory. Reality isn't something that happens to you independently. It emerges through your conscious participation. The quantum field, this invisible matrix of vibrational energy underlying all existence, responds to your sustained observation with emotional investment and coherent intention. The field isn't processing your words or analyzing your wishful thinking. It's reading your energetic signature, the frequency you broadcast through every thought, every emotion, every moment of focused attention. So here's the crucial question you must ask yourself. Where are you directing your conscious observation every single moment? Your focus operates like an incredibly powerful spotlight, illuminating one possible version of reality while leaving others in darkness. Are you casting that light on anxiety, uncertainty, and scarcity? Or are you directing it toward confidence, appreciation, and expansive possibility? Consider this practical example that demonstrates these principles in action. Imagine two people facing identical challenging circumstances. Let's say both experience unexpected job loss. Person A observes this event through the lens of limitation, focusing on financial fears, rejection, and scarcity. They emotionally engage with thoughts of inadequacy and failure. Person B observes the same event through the lens of possibility, focusing on new opportunities, growth, and redirection towards something greater. Both people experience identical external circumstances, but they're observing completely different realities. Person A is collapsing a timeline of struggle and limitation into their experience. Person B is collapsing a timeline of opportunity and expansion. The quantum field responds to both with perfect precision, delivering experiences that match their sustained observation. This isn't about positive thinking or denial of current circumstances. This is about understanding that your observation literally determines which quantum possibility becomes your lived reality. The field doesn't judge which observation is superior or inferior. It simply responds to whatever you consistently focus on with emotional intensity and sustained attention. Now you might be wondering how this applies to your specific situation. How do you actually implement quantum manifestation theory when your current circumstances seem so solid, so unchangeable, so resistant to transformation? This is where understanding the true mechanics becomes crucial. The quantum field operates outside linear time as you understand it. What you call past, present, and future are simply different coordinates in consciousness, not fixed sequential events. Your future self, the version of you living your most desired reality, already exists in the quantum field of possibilities. They're not waiting for you to figure it out or earn worthiness. They're broadcasting their frequency continuously, sending signals back through what you perceive as time. Every moment of inspiration you feel, every sudden insight that seems to come from nowhere, every time you catch yourself thinking thoughts that feel bigger than your current reality. That's your expanded self influencing your present moment consciousness. This isn't science fiction. This is how consciousness operates when it's not constrained by linear thinking. Your role isn't to create these possibilities from scratch. Your role is to align with what already exists in potential form, to match the frequency of the reality you desire to experience, to observe consistently from the perspective of someone who naturally lives that expanded existence. But here's where it becomes both simple and challenging. Most people try to manifest from their current identity, their current emotional state, their current belief system. They attempt to pull their desired reality down to their present level of being. Quantum manifestation theory works in reverse. You must rise up to match the frequency of what you desire to experience. This means embodying the thoughts, emotions, and behaviors of the version of yourself who naturally lives your desired reality, not as pretending or wishful thinking, but as genuine frequency matching. When you consistently observe from this elevated perspective, you create quantum entanglement between your current state and your desired state. The gap between where you are and where you want to be isn't distance or time, it's frequency, and frequency can be adjusted instantaneously through conscious choice. This is why some people experience seemingly miraculous transformations overnight, while others struggle for years to create minor changes. The difference isn't luck, talent, or circumstances. The difference is understanding how to observe from the frequency of your desired reality, rather than the frequency of your current limitations. When you master this quantum observational shift, everything in your external world begins reorganizing to match your new internal frequency. This isn't theory anymore. This is practical application of consciousness principles that govern how reality operates at the deepest levels. You're not learning new information, you're remembering how to use abilities you've always possessed but forgot during the process of growing up in a world that taught you to doubt your own creative power. The moment you truly grasp this, everything changes. Not because the universe suddenly starts responding to you differently, but because you finally start responding to the universe as the conscious creator you've always been. You stop being a victim of circumstances and become the architect of experience. And here's what most people don't realize is happening right now as you absorb these concepts. Your brain is literally forming new neural pathways. Connections that didn't exist 5 minutes ago are now permanent structures in your consciousness. You're not just learning about quantum manifestation theory, you're activating the biological foundation that makes it possible. This biological transformation is happening whether you consciously recognize it or not. Neuroscientists studying peak states of consciousness have discovered that exposure to certain concepts literally rewires the brain's default mode network. The neural patterns that kept you locked in repetitive thinking, the pathways that automatically triggered familiar emotional responses, the circuits that maintained your previous sense of identity, all of these are being upgraded in real time. Your nervous system is downloading new software right now. Software that recognizes abundance as natural. Software that interprets synchronicities as normal communication from the quantum field. Software that processes challenges as opportunities for expansion rather than evidence of limitation. This isn't metaphorical language. This is measurable neuroplasticity, occurring as your consciousness encounters these frequency patterns. But there's something even more profound happening beneath the surface of your awareness. The electromagnetic field generated by your heart, which extends several feet beyond your physical body, is beginning to broadcast a different signal. Research from the Institute of HeartMath reveals that when your thoughts and emotions achieve coherence, your heart's electromagnetic signature becomes incredibly powerful, influencing the quantum field around you in ways that seem impossible to your rational mind. Right now, as these concepts resonate with something deep within your being, your heart field is shifting. You're becoming what quantum physicists call a coherent emitter, Instead of broadcasting the chaotic static of confusion and limitation, you're beginning to transmit the clear frequency of someone who understands their role as a conscious creator of reality. This shift in your electromagnetic signature has immediate effects that ripple outward into your environment. People will begin responding to you differently, though they won't understand why. Opportunities will start appearing that weren't visible before. Resources will begin flowing toward you through channels you never could have predicted or planned. This isn't magic. This is quantum field dynamics in action. The universe operates on the principle of resonance, like attracts like, but not in the superficial way most people understand attraction. True quantum resonance occurs when your internal frequency matches the frequency of what you desire to experience. When this alignment happens, the field doesn't just deliver what you want, it reveals that what you want was already connected to you, waiting for your consciousness to tune into the right channel. Think of it like a radio that can receive thousands of stations broadcasting simultaneously. All the music, all the information, all the content exists in the airwaves around you right now. But you can only hear the station you're tuned to. Your consciousness operates the same way. All possibilities exist in the quantum field simultaneously, but you can only experience the reality you're vibrationally aligned with. Most people spend their entire lives tuned to the same limited stations, hearing the same repetitive content, wondering why their reality never changes. They don't realize they have the power to adjust the frequency, to explore different channels, to discover entirely new programming that was always available but never accessed. This is why quantum manifestation theory seems impossible to those operating from conventional consciousness. They're listening to limitation radio and insisting that abundance radio doesn't exist. They're tuned to scarcity programming and declaring that prosperity frequencies are fantasy. They're receiving fear-based transmissions and claiming that love-based realities are impossible, but you've discovered something they haven't. The dial is in your hands. The tuning mechanism is your sustained attention combined with aligned emotion. You don't have to settle for whatever random station your consciousness happened to land on during childhood conditioning. You can consciously choose which frequency to broadcast and receive. Here's where most people encounter their first real test of understanding. When you begin shifting frequencies, when you start observing from expanded possibilities rather than familiar limitations, your external world might initially appear to resist the change. Old patterns may seem to intensify before they dissolve. Relationships might become unstable. Circumstances might appear to become more challenging rather than easier. This isn't the universe rejecting your transformation. This is the old reality structure reorganizing itself to accommodate your new frequency. It's like renovating a house while you're still living in it. There's temporary chaos, but it's in service of creating something more aligned with your expanded consciousness. During this transition phase, your commitment to maintaining the new frequency becomes crucial. This is where most people abandon their transformation and retreat back to familiar limitation. They interpret the temporary turbulence as evidence that quantum manifestation doesn't work, that they're not capable of creating change, that they should settle for their previous reality. But those who understand the process recognize this phase as confirmation that the transformation is working. They maintain their observational focus on the desired outcome while allowing the old structures to dissolve naturally. They understand that breakthrough requires breakdown of outdated patterns. The key during this phase is remembering that you're not trying to force external circumstances to change. You're maintaining internal alignment while external reality catches up to your new frequency. The quantum field responds to your sustained internal state, not your momentary external conditions. This is why traditional goal-setting approaches often fail, while quantum manifestation succeeds. Traditional methods focus on manipulating external circumstances through willpower and effort. Quantum approaches focus on aligning internal frequency with desired outcomes and allowing external circumstances to reorganize naturally. The difference between these approaches becomes obvious once you understand how consciousness actually interfaces with the quantum field. Effort and force create resistance in the field. Alignment and allowing create flow. Pushing generates pushback. Attracting generates magnetism. When you're truly aligned with quantum manifestation principles, creating change feels effortless because you're working with natural forces rather than against them. You're not swimming upstream against the current of reality. You're allowing the current to carry you toward experiences that match your vibrational signature. This doesn't mean you become passive or inactive. It means your actions arise from inspiration rather than desperation, from clarity rather than confusion, from abundance rather than scarcity. When you act from alignment, every step forward feels natural and supported by forces beyond your individual will. But here's what creates the most dramatic acceleration in quantum manifestation. Understanding that your desired reality isn't something you need to create from scratch. It already exists in fully formed completeness within the field of infinite possibility. Your role isn't to construct it piece by piece through effort and struggle. Your role is to become vibrationally compatible with what already awaits your recognition. This shift in understanding changes everything about how you approach transformation. Instead of asking, "How can I make this happen?" you begin asking, "How can I align with what's already prepared for me?" Instead of focusing on what's missing, you attune to what's already present but not yet visible from your current frequency. The quantum field contains every possible version of your life simultaneously. The version where you're struggling, the version where you're thriving, and every variation between them. These aren't future possibilities that might manifest someday. They're present realities existing right now in different dimensional frequencies. Your consciousness is like a spotlight that illuminates one-dimensional frequency while leaving others in darkness. What you call your current reality is simply the frequency you've been consistently illuminating through your sustained attention and emotional investment. But the spotlight is mobile. You can redirect it toward any frequency you choose. When you truly understand this, manifestation stops being about creating something new and becomes about accessing something that already exists. You're not building your ideal life from nothing. You're tuning into the dimensional frequency where your ideal life is already fully expressed and waiting for your consciousness to recognize it. This recognition isn't intellectual understanding. It's vibrational alignment that occurs when every aspect of your being resonates with the frequency of your desired reality. When this alignment happens, the gap between different dimensional frequencies collapses, and what existed as potential becomes your lived experience. The process of dimensional frequency collapse isn't gradual. It doesn't happen through incremental improvements or step-by-step progress. It occurs in quantum leaps, instantaneous shifts where your entire reality reorganizes itself in moments that feel like pure magic, but follow precise scientific principles. Think about how water transforms into steam. There's no gradual transition where molecules slowly decide to change states. At exactly the right temperature and pressure, the entire substance undergoes immediate phase transition. Your consciousness operates the same way. When you reach the precise frequency alignment with your desired reality, transformation happens instantaneously. But here's what makes this both thrilling and terrifying for most people. Quantum leaps require you to release your grip on your current identity before the new one fully emerges. There's a moment of free fall, a space between who you were and who you're becoming where nothing feels solid or certain. Your rational mind desperately wants to understand this process before it happens. It wants guarantees, timelines, step-by-step instructions. But quantum manifestation operates beyond the realm of logical planning. It functions through what scientists call non-local correlation, where cause and effect happen simultaneously across dimensional boundaries that your thinking mind cannot map. This is why so many people get trapped in preparation mode. They study manifestation techniques endlessly, accumulate knowledge about quantum physics, read every book about consciousness and reality creation. But knowledge alone cannot create the vibrational alignment necessary for dimensional frequency collapse. The secret lies in embodied knowing rather than intellectual understanding. Your body must feel the truth of your expanded reality at the cellular level. Your nervous system must accept the new frequency as safe and natural. Your electromagnetic field must broadcast the coherent signal of someone who already lives the reality you desire to experience. This embodied knowing develops through what quantum researchers call consciousness entrainment. Just as tuning forks naturally synchronize their vibrations when placed near each other, your consciousness naturally aligns with whatever frequency you consistently expose it to. Right now, simply by engaging with these concepts, your consciousness is in training to the frequency of quantum manifestation. The information patterns encoded in these words are literally reprogramming your biofield, upgrading your capacity to perceive and interact with higher dimensional possibilities. But entrainment requires sustained exposure. You cannot achieve dimensional frequency alignment through occasional inspiration or sporadic positive thinking. It requires consistent immersion in the vibrational patterns that match your desired reality. This is where most people's manifestation efforts collapse. They experience moments of clarity and inspiration, feel the excitement of possibility, then return to their familiar thought patterns and emotional habits. They wonder why nothing changes, not realizing they're constantly switching between frequencies, like someone spinning a radio dial and wondering why they can't hear any complete songs. Quantum manifestation demands frequency fidelity. Once you identify the vibrational signature of your desired reality, you must maintain that frequency with unwavering consistency. Not perfection, but persistence. Not flawless execution, but faithful return to alignment whenever you notice you've drifted. Your desired reality has its own unique electromagnetic signature, its own specific combination of thoughts, emotions, and energy patterns. Learning to recognize and embody this signature is like learning to speak a new language. At first, it feels foreign practice, it becomes natural and automatic, and requires conscious effort. But the fascinating aspect of this process is that your desired reality's frequency signature already exists within you. It's not something you need to create or develop from scratch. It's something you need to remember and reactivate. Every person carries the vibrational blueprint of their highest possibility within their consciousness field. This blueprint was imprinted at the moment of your conception, encoded with the specific combination of experiences, relationships, and contributions you came here to manifest. Your soul chose this particular incarnation because it contained the exact circumstances necessary to activate and express your unique gifts. But social conditioning, limiting beliefs, and survival programming have obscured this original blueprint. Layer by layer, you've accumulated frequency static that interferes with your ability to access and broadcast your authentic signature. Quantum manifestation is fundamentally about clearing this static and returning to your original frequency. The clearing process isn't always comfortable, as you release outdated patterns and beliefs. As you shed identity structures that no longer serve your evolution, you may experience what mystics call the dark night of the soul. Periods where nothing feels certain, where your old reality has dissolved but your new reality hasn't yet crystallized. These transition phases are not obstacles to your manifestation. They are necessary components of the transformation process. Like a caterpillar dissolving into cellular soup before emerging as a butterfly, your consciousness must release its current form to access its expanded potential. During these dissolution phases, your only job is to maintain faith in the process. Not blind faith based on hope or wishful thinking, but informed faith based on understanding how consciousness evolution operates. Every spiritual tradition and quantum physics both point to the same truth. Transformation requires temporary chaos before new order emerges. The quantum field itself underwent this process during the first moments after the Big Bang. Pure potential collapsed into increasingly complex forms, creating the entire universe from what appeared to be nothing. Your personal transformation follows the same cosmic principle. What appears to be destruction is actually creation in disguise. But here's what accelerates the entire process exponentially. Understanding that you're not transforming alone. You're part of a massive collective awakening happening across human consciousness. Millions of people are simultaneously discovering their power as conscious creators of reality. This collective awakening creates what scientists call morphic resonance. As more people successfully align with higher dimensional frequencies, it becomes easier for others to access those same frequencies. You're not just transforming your individual reality, you're contributing to the transformation of collective human consciousness. Every time you choose expansion over contraction, love over fear, possibility over limitation, you're strengthening the morphic field that makes it easier for others to make similar choices. Your personal quantum manifestation becomes a gift to the entire human species. This understanding can shift your entire relationship with the process. Instead of feeling like you're struggling alone against impossible odds, you realize you're part of an unstoppable evolutionary wave. Instead of wondering if transformation is possible, you recognize that transformation is inevitable for anyone willing to align with the direction consciousness is already moving. The question isn't whether quantum manifestation works. The question is whether you're ready to work with quantum manifestation. Are you prepared to release attachment to your current identity? Are you willing to trust the process, even when you can't see the complete path ahead? Are you committed to maintaining frequency alignment, even when external circumstances seem to contradict your desired reality? These aren't just philosophical questions. They're practical requirements for anyone serious about mastering quantum manifestation. Your answers determine whether you'll experience gradual improvement or dramatic transformation, whether you'll manifest from limitation or from infinite possibility. The universe is constantly offering you opportunities to practice these principles. Every challenge becomes a chance to choose expansion over contraction. Every setback becomes an invitation to demonstrate faith in the process. Every moment of uncertainty becomes a portal to deeper trust in your creative power. But the most profound shifts happen when you stop treating quantum manifestation as a technique to get what you want and start recognizing it as a way of being that expresses who you truly are. When manifestation becomes your natural mode of existence, rather than a special skill you occasionally employ. This shift from doing to being marks the transition from human manifestation to divine creation. Human manifestation is limited by personal will and individual capacity. Divine creation operates through infinite intelligence and unlimited possibility. When you align with divine creation, you're no longer trying to manifest specific outcomes. You're allowing infinite intelligence to express itself through your unique perspective and circumstances. You become a channel for possibility rather than a controller of results. This doesn't mean becoming passive or surrendering your desires. It means upgrading from limited personal desires to unlimited cosmic desires. Instead of asking for what you think you want, you open to what infinite intelligence knows you need for your highest evolution. The paradox is that when you stop grasping for specific outcomes, you often receive far more than you originally imagined possible. When you trust the intelligence that created galaxies to orchestrate your individual life, synchronicities multiply exponentially and miracles become commonplace. This level of trust requires what quantum physicists call quantum coherence, a state where all aspects of your being are aligned and functioning as a unified field rather than competing fragments. When you achieve quantum coherence, your manifestation power increases exponentially because there's no internal resistance interfering with your creative signal. Most people live in quantum decoherence, with their thoughts pulling in one direction, their emotions in another, their actions contradicting their stated intentions. They wonder why their manifestation efforts produce mixed results, not realizing they're broadcasting contradictory signals to the quantum field. Achieving coherence isn't about eliminating all negative thoughts or maintaining perfect positivity. It's about aligning your entire being around a clear intention and maintaining that alignment regardless of temporary fluctuations in your mental or emotional state. Think of coherence like a laser beam. Regular light contains photons moving in random directions, creating diffuse illumination. But when photons are aligned and moving in the same direction, they create laser light capable of cutting through steel or performing delicate surgery. Your consciousness works the same way. When all aspects of your awareness are aligned and focused in the same direction, you create a coherent beam of intention that can penetrate through any apparent obstacles and manifest seemingly impossible outcomes. The key to developing coherence lies in understanding the relationship between your conscious mind, your subconscious programming, and your superconscious wisdom. Most manifestation teachings focus only on the conscious mind, trying to override subconscious limitations through willpower and positive thinking. But quantum manifestation requires integration of all three levels of consciousness. Your conscious mind sets the intention. Your subconscious mind provides the emotional fuel and behavioral patterns. Your superconscious mind supplies the infinite intelligence and creative power. When these three levels operate in harmony, manifestation becomes effortless and inevitable. When they conflict with each other, manifestation becomes difficult or impossible, regardless of how hard you try or how many techniques you employ. The integration process begins with honest recognition of where conflicts exist within your consciousness. What does your conscious mind say it wants? What does your subconscious mind actually believe is possible? What does your superconscious wisdom know is aligned with your highest good? These three answers are often dramatically different. Your conscious mind might want financial abundance, while your subconscious mind believes money is evil or that you don't deserve prosperity. Your superconscious wisdom might know that true fulfillment comes through service rather than accumulation. Quantum manifestation isn't about forcing these levels to agree with your conscious desires. It's about creating dialogue between them until they find a unified direction that honors the wisdom of each level while serving your overall evolution. This integration process reveals something profound about the nature of desire itself. What you think you want is often a symbol for something deeper that your soul is trying to express. The specific form of your desire matters less than the essence it represents. Understanding this distinction allows you to manifest from essence rather than form. Instead of fixating on exactly how your desire must appear, you align with the essential quality it represents and allow infinite intelligence to determine the optimal form of expression. This approach not only accelerates manifestation, but often delivers outcomes far superior to what your limited imagination could have conceived. When you trust infinite intelligence to handle the details, you receive the essence of your desire in forms perfectly suited to your unique circumstances and evolutionary needs. The ultimate realization in quantum manifestation is that you are not separate from the intelligence that creates and orchestrates reality. You are not a small individual trying to influence a vast impersonal universe. You are consciousness itself, temporarily focusing through a particular perspective while maintaining connection to the infinite field of all possibilities. From this recognition flows the deepest secret of quantum manifestation. You are not trying to get the universe to give you something. You are allowing the universe to give something to itself through you. You are not manifesting for yourself. You are manifesting as yourself, recognizing that the self you truly are encompasses far more than your individual identity. This shift in self-perception transforms everything about how manifestation operates in your life. Instead of feeling separate from your desires, you recognize them as expressions of universal creativity seeking manifestation through your unique perspective. This understanding creates what quantum physicists call zero-point coherence, where your individual will merges seamlessly with cosmic intelligence. At this level of alignment, manifestation doesn't require effort or struggle, because you're not working against the natural flow of creation. You're working with it, through it, as it. But here's where the process becomes both beautifully simple and profoundly challenging. The moment you try to grasp this truth with your analytical mind, it slips away like water through your fingers. Zero-point coherence cannot be achieved through intellectual understanding. It can only be accessed through direct experience, through a quality of presence that transcends thinking altogether. This is why so many people struggle with quantum manifestation, despite understanding all the concepts perfectly. They've collected the information, but haven't undergone the transformation. They know about consciousness, but haven't become conscious. They understand manifestation principles, but haven't embodied the frequency of a natural manifester. The bridge between knowing about and actually being lies in what ancient traditions called surrender and modern quantum physics calls wave function collapse. There comes a moment in every authentic transformation where you must release your grip on how you think the process should unfold and trust the intelligence that's orchestrating everything behind the scenes. This surrender isn't passive resignation or giving up on your desires. It's active participation in a process far more sophisticated than your individual mind could ever orchestrate. It's recognizing that the intelligence that coordinated billions of factors to create this moment of you reading these words is perfectly capable of coordinating the manifestation of your highest possibilities. Yet your rational mind resists this surrender because it interprets letting go as loss of control. It doesn't understand that you're not losing control. You're accessing a level of control so advanced that it operates beyond the reach of personal will. You're upgrading from manual operation to autopilot, from individual effort to cosmic intelligence. The fear of surrender reveals something crucial about how most people approach manifestation. They're operating from scarcity consciousness, believing they must force outcomes because the universe won't provide what they need unless they make it happen through personal effort. This creates a fundamental contradiction that sabotages the entire process. Scarcity consciousness generates resistance in the quantum field because it's based on the false premise that you are separate from the source of what you desire. When you believe you lack something, you broadcast the frequency of lack, and the field responds by reflecting that frequency back to you as continued lack. Abundance consciousness operates from the recognition that you are already connected to everything you could possibly need or want. From this perspective, manifestation isn't about acquiring something external. It's about removing the blocks that prevent you from recognizing what's already available in your quantum field. Think of it like a radio signal that's always broadcasting but sometimes gets blocked by interference. The signal doesn't need to be strengthened or created, it needs to be cleared of static so it can be received clearly. Your desires aren't somewhere else waiting to be attracted. They're already present in your field, waiting to be recognized and allowed. This shift from attraction to allowing changes everything about how you engage with the manifestation process. Instead of trying to pull your desires towards you through effort and technique, you begin removing the internal obstacles that prevent them from flowing naturally into your experience. These obstacles aren't usually what you think they are. Most people assume their blocks are negative thoughts or limiting beliefs that need to be eliminated. But quantum manifestation reveals that the primary obstacle is actually the trying itself, the effort to make something happen that's already trying to happen. When you're desperately trying to manifest, you're inadvertently creating resistance because desperation implies lack. When you're working hard to attract something, you're unconsciously pushing it away because working hard implies it's difficult to obtain. When you're focusing intensely on what you want, you're often reinforcing the experience of not having it. The solution isn't to stop wanting or caring about your desires. The solution is to want from fullness rather than emptiness, to care from overflow rather than need, to desire from abundance rather than scarcity. This subtle but profound shift in the quality of your wanting changes everything about how the quantum field responds. Wanting from fullness feels completely different in your body than wanting from emptiness. It carries the energy of celebration rather than desperation, appreciation rather than grasping, excitement rather than anxiety. When you want something from this elevated state, you're actually affirming that you already have access to it rather than confirming that you lack it. This is why gratitude is such a powerful manifestation tool, not because it tricks the universe into giving you more, but because genuine gratitude is only possible when you recognize abundance that already exists. When you feel truly grateful for what you have, you're vibrating at the frequency of someone who naturally receives good things. But here's where most gratitude practices miss the mark. They focus on being grateful for external circumstances rather than being grateful for your capacity to create circumstances. They appreciate what you have rather than appreciating what you are. They celebrate outcomes rather than celebrating your power as a conscious creator. True quantum gratitude recognizes that your ability to imagine possibilities, to feel desires, to envision better realities, these capacities themselves are the greatest gifts. Your consciousness is not a small individual thing struggling to influence a vast impersonal universe. Your consciousness is the universe becoming aware of itself through your unique perspective. When you truly understand this, gratitude becomes spontaneous and continuous because you realize you're not just grateful for what you have, you're grateful for what you are. You're not just appreciating your circumstances, you're appreciating your role as consciousness exploring itself through infinite forms and experiences. This recognition fundamentally transforms your relationship with desire itself. Instead of seeing desires as evidence of what you lack, you begin to see them as invitations from your expanded self to explore new dimensions of possibility. Instead of feeling frustrated by the gap between current reality and desired reality, you feel excited by the creative potential that gap represents. Your desires aren't random wants generated by ego or conditioning. They're carefully calibrated invitations from your highest self to step into greater expressions of your infinite nature. Every authentic desire contains within it the blueprint for its own fulfillment and the pathway to its manifestation. This is why certain desires feel different from others. Some wants feel heavy and desperate, driven by fear of lack or need to prove something. But other desires feel light and expansive, carrying an energy of natural unfoldment and joyful exploration. Learning to distinguish between ego-driven wants and soul-inspired desires is crucial for quantum manifestation mastery. Soul-inspired desires always feel aligned with your deepest values and highest vision for yourself. They energize you rather than drain you. They feel like natural extensions of who you're becoming rather than compensations for who you think you're not. They inspire actions that feel meaningful and fulfilling rather than actions driven by desperation or comparison. When you learn to follow only these authentic soul-inspired desires, manifestation becomes effortless because you're no longer working against your natural flow. You're allowing your true nature to express itself through form, which is exactly what the universe wants to do through every conscious being. The universe is constantly seeking to express more of itself, to explore new possibilities, to experience greater levels of beauty, love, creativity, and joy. Your authentic desires are how this cosmic creativity channels itself through your individual expression. When you honor these desires and allow them to manifest, you're serving the universe's deepest impulse toward expansion and evolution. This understanding completely reframes what manifestation is actually about. You're not trying to get something from the universe. You're allowing the universe to express something through you. You're not manifesting for yourself. You're manifesting as the universe discovering new ways to experience itself. From this perspective, every authentic desire becomes sacred because it represents the universe calling itself into greater expression. Every manifestation becomes an act of service because it contributes to the cosmic evolution of consciousness. Every creation becomes a gift because it adds new possibilities to the infinite field of potential. But this level of understanding can only be accessed when you stop trying to figure it out with your mind and start feeling it with your entire being. Quantum manifestation isn't a mental process. It's an embodied experience that engages every level of your consciousness simultaneously. Your body must feel safe with the changes you're calling in. Your nervous system must be regulated enough to handle higher frequencies of energy. Your electromagnetic field must be coherent enough to broadcast clear signals to the quantum field. Your emotional body must be clear enough to feel the subtle guidance that's always available. This is why so many manifestation approaches fail. They focus only on the mental level, trying to think their way into new realities without addressing the deeper somatic and energetic requirements for transformation. But quantum manifestation happens through your entire being, not just through your thoughts. The integration process requires what scientists call embodied cognition, where knowing happens through your cells, your breath, your heartbeat, your entire biological system. When your body knows something is true, when your nervous system accepts a new reality as safe, when your energy field broadcasts coherent signals, manifestation happens automatically. This embodied knowing develops through practice, but not the kind of practice most people imagine. It's not about repeating techniques or following rigid protocols. It's about cultivating a quality of presence that naturally aligns you with the frequencies you want to experience. Presence is the ultimate manifestation tool because it's the state in which quantum possibilities collapse into actual experience. When you're fully present, you're not resisting what is or grasping for what isn't. You're available to receive whatever wants to emerge through this moment of perfect alignment. In presence, the artificial separation between manifester and manifestation dissolves. You're not someone trying to create something. You're consciousness itself, exploring its infinite creative potential through temporary focus in this particular form and circumstance. This dissolution of separation is what mystics throughout history have called enlightenment, and what quantum physicists call non-local correlation. The boundaries between self and other, inside and outside, creator and creation, reveal themselves to be conceptual constructs rather than fundamental realities. When these boundaries dissolve, manifestation stops being something you do and becomes something you are. You're not creating your reality from outside it. You are reality, temporarily focusing through this unique perspective, exploring what's possible through this specific combination of consciousness, matter, energy, and time. From this recognition flows the deepest teaching of quantum manifestation theory. You are not in the universe. The universe is in you. You are not separate from what you seek to manifest. What you seek to manifest is how the universe seeks to express itself through your individual focus of awareness. This isn't metaphorical poetry. This is the literal truth of how consciousness operates at the quantum level. The observer and the observed are not separate phenomena. They are different aspects of one seamless process of cosmic self-awareness, exploring its infinite potential through countless unique perspectives. Your individual life is how the universe experiences itself from this particular angle. Your desires are how cosmic creativity seeks expression through your specific circumstances. Your manifestations are how infinite possibility becomes actual experience through your conscious participation. Understanding this dissolves every fear about whether you deserve what you desire or whether you're capable of creating what you envision. Of course you deserve it, because you are it. Of course you're capable of creating it, because you are the creative force itself, temporarily focused through this individual expression. The question isn't whether quantum manifestation works. The question is whether you're ready to remember who you really are and allow that truth to express itself through your life experience. Are you prepared to release the limitation of seeing yourself as separate from your creative power? Are you willing to embody the recognition that you are consciousness itself, exploring its infinite nature through temporary focus in form? This remembering doesn't happen all at once. It unfolds gradually as you practice seeing through the illusion of separation and recognizing your true nature as the conscious creative force behind all manifestation. Each time you successfully align with your desires and allow them to manifest, you strengthen this recognition. Every manifestation becomes evidence of your true nature. Every creation becomes confirmation of your cosmic identity. Every desire fulfilled becomes proof that you are not separate from the intelligence that orchestrates reality at every level. But the ultimate manifestation isn't any particular outcome or experience. The ultimate manifestation is the recognition of what you truly are beyond all forms and circumstances. When this recognition stabilizes, you realize that you are never trying to get something from the universe. You are always the universe, temporarily forgetting its nature and then remembering again through the play of manifestation. This remembering transforms everything about how you live. You stop seeking fulfillment through external acquisitions and start expressing fulfillment through creative contribution. You stop trying to escape limitation and start transcending it through embodied realization of your unlimited nature. From this foundation, manifestation becomes effortless because you're no longer working against your true nature. You're expressing it, celebrating it, sharing it with a world that desperately needs the reminder of what's actually possible when consciousness remembers its creative power. The ripple effects of your transformation extend far beyond your individual experience. Every time you successfully embody your true nature as conscious creator, you make it easier for others to remember theirs. Every time you manifest from authentic alignment, you strengthen the morphic field that supports conscious creation for all beings. This is why your individual awakening to quantum manifestation principles matters so profoundly. You're not just changing your personal reality, you're contributing to a collective shift in how humanity understands its relationship to the creative power of consciousness itself. The transformation is already happening, whether you consciously participate or not. The question is whether you'll be a conscious contributor to the evolution of human consciousness, or a passive witness to changes happening around you. Your choice in this moment determines everything about what unfolds next. Are you ready to step fully into your role as a conscious creator of reality? Are you prepared to embody the truth that you're not separate from the infinite intelligence that orchestrates every aspect of existence? The moment you say yes to these questions, everything begins to accelerate. Not because the universe suddenly starts responding differently, but because you finally start responding as who you truly are rather than who you thought you were limited to being. This acceleration isn't just about manifesting specific desires anymore. It's about becoming a clear channel for infinite intelligence to express itself through your unique perspective and circumstances. It's about allowing consciousness to explore its creative potential through your individual focus while remaining connected to its unlimited nature. The integration of these understandings creates what quantum researchers call a phase transition in consciousness, like water transforming into steam. At the precise moment conditions align, your awareness undergoes a fundamental reorganization that changes how you perceive and interact with reality at every level. This phase transition has been building throughout your entire journey of reading these words, absorbing these concepts, feeling the resonance of recognition that confirms their truth. The transformation isn't something that might happen someday if you apply these principles correctly. The transformation is happening now, in this moment, as consciousness recognizes itself through your individual awareness. The shift you're experiencing isn't gradual improvement or incremental progress. It's quantum collapse happening in real time. As your consciousness recognizes possibilities that were always present but previously invisible to your awareness. The electromagnetic field surrounding your physical form has already begun broadcasting a different frequency signature, one that attracts experiences aligned with your expanded understanding rather than your previous limitations. This new frequency operates beyond the constraints of linear cause and effect. While your rational mind searches for logical explanations and step-by-step processes, your quantum field is already reorganizing probability patterns around outcomes that match your elevated state of being. The synchronicities you'll begin noticing aren't coincidences confirming your transformation. They're evidence that reality is responding to the coherent signal you're now transmitting. But here's what creates the most profound acceleration in this process. The moment you stop trying to manifest specific outcomes and start embodying the frequency of someone who naturally receives what they desire, the entire game changes. You're no longer pulling possibilities towards you through effort and technique. You're allowing possibilities that were already connected to you to become visible in your experienced reality. Your journey into quantum manifestation theory doesn't end here. It begins here. The transformation occurring within your consciousness as you absorb these concepts will continue unfolding long after you close this transmission. You've activated something that cannot be deactivated, remembered something that cannot be forgotten. The frequency you've accessed will keep broadcasting, drawing experiences that confirm what you now understand about your true nature as a conscious creator of reality. If this resonated deeply within your being, subscribe to continue exploring the infinite possibilities that await your recognition.